All right, so Rails blog complex nested forms. We're going to build off the previous iteration of our blog app where we created new models for user and tag and applicable associations and wrote validations. We want to clean up our tagging feature. Our ability to add tags to a new post is super useful, but what if when we're making a new post, we want to add a new tag that isn't in the list? Let's build that out. Okay, so instead of choosing existing, we want to be able to choose existing and add new ones if need be. As much of a Rails curriculum, remember to use no test framework flag when you generate models, controllers, etc. That way, the Rails generators will not create additional tests on top of the test suite that already comes with the lesson. That's also very important because sometimes, I haven't seen it all the time, but I think it will overwrite the tests. And then if you're doing a lab and you overwrite the tests with the generated test, it can cause issues because then you won't have any test-driven development to know what to do to guide you along. It can also cause issues because it'll create a pending test, if I remember correctly. And with that, you'll have pending is considered failing by the learn gem. So you won't be able to submit it. The test won't come back as passing until you get rid of those tests. So easier just try and always remember no test framework. It can be hard at times to forget or to remember that. I know I did all the time, and I still do. So it creates a lot of files too that are hard to kind of delete or parse out because there's a bunch of them. Okay, tags. One, we need to change the permitted params in our post controller to accept another attribute, tags attribute, which contains the tag attributes that we need to create a new tag. Okay. We also need and accepts nested attributes for macro on our post model, which will permit tags to be nested in our new post form. Okay. Now we can build a nested form in our post form, nested form documentation. We should be able to select previously created tags as well as create a new tag. Oh, that's what I was talking about in kind of the note up there. Remember, because we have a uniqueness validation on the name of there should be a the in there, I think, name of tag. I guess that works. We will need to account for that. A user shouldn't have to submit a new tag every time they submit a post. So if they want to create a new tag, they'll be able to, but if they don't, it's not going to cause an issue. And then to allow a user to create a new tag, the controller action for a new tag should instantiate a new tag. Check out the documentation for the fields for tag. Okay. So I'm going to click these so that they're open. If we end up looking at them, I'm also going to close these because they'll make noise when people ask questions. I'm asking questions. All right, let's see what our tests are saying. Open up, see if that went through. Okay. Should have tests running now. Great. I'm going to put this to the side. And let's run a fail fast on that. I'm just going to close down my other terminal. Cool. All right. So let's see where we're starting here. I'm just going to work based on the tests. I know the README has some things and they're probably in a good order, but I'm just going to go by the tests. All right. So currently, create a post without a new tag, can create a post with a new tag. So let's see what our view looks like. I know we're going to need our model at some point. So let's just open that up. And our view, which view are we looking for? Posts. And rendering the form partial. So form. Okay. And I think we'll need this user model too later. And then our controller, post controller. I think that's the 4 files we'll end up editing for this lab. So let's look at our form first. And it's all kind of going to run together, but let's also, I'll pull up a server too. Now, is it? Can't remember my key combination. There we go. Rails. Nested forms. That way we can look at these elements. Cool. Other pending migration error. We'll get that taken care of. Okay, great. Our Rails app is running. So let's look at this. Where are we? Posts new. All right, so here's our form right now. And let's see if we can't look at it a little bit. I guess this is really what we're looking at. So right now, let's respec again. Our Capybara test is looking for a field and can't find it. So it's looking for a field name. It's not finding it because there's no field name in this form. So it's looking in this form for that a field or an input that's labeled name. So yeah, we can work on that now. And it's looking for it inside the nested form for tag. So here we have our field, checkboxes. All right, I think that's where it makes most sense. There's a space here for checkboxes, but we haven't created any new ones yet, so there's nothing there. So after that, we can put this. And I'm gonna put divs and stuff just to keep it looking nice. Slash. All right, so here we want to do our f.fields for, this f is coming from up here, the post object that we're passing into this form builder. F.fields for and we're going to be doing this for our tags. Let's do that. I always put my end in next so I don't forget about it, because I will. All right, So now that we have something for our nested attribute tag, the tag for the posts, we need a couple inputs, or one input. So let's set that up. Grab a tag label for our field, and that's going to be name. I'll put my break after that, or break after that. And then we need a form builder to build our input field. Name. Yeah. That should do, I think, what we're trying to do. Let's see what we get. There we go. Name and a field. Let's see what our, excuse me. Okay, so we still have something a little bit different here. It's not something labeled exactly name. So let's see what this spec is actually looking for. Features. So visits post new, that's where we're at. Within all of the class field, fill in name, fill in content, click button. Fill name, fill in content, click button. Okay, let's see what happens. And if this doesn't pass, I actually think we should do our models and controllers first anyway. Okay. So let's actually run our other spec. Let's run our post spec. Spec models post spec. That work? Cool. I didn't know if the fail fast would work like that on the end. All right, so let's go to our posts. Validations. We can come back and look at the form after that, because the form's not going to work at all without any of this stuff done anyway. And I typically work from model to controller to view, getting the logic in the model first, then passing the object needed from the controller to the view, and then working with that object in the view. I think that workflow works better. These specs will always be in alphabetical order by folder name. That's how they'll run. So it's something to look at when you're doing these labs, especially the Rails ones that have feature tests like that. Sometimes you'll need to run specs in a different order. Sometimes they'll be numbered so that they'll be in the order that makes the most sense, but sometimes they won't be. And you can put the exact file. I think you can just do the folder too. It'll run everything in that folder. Yeah. I know I've helped some students specifically with that. They're trying to build features and they don't have models or controllers yet. And they're like, I can't figure it out. It's not passing. And it's because a view won't work without objects or routes or models. All right. Unknown attribute tags attributes. So post. There we go. So this is where the readme was talking about. We needed an accepts nested attributes for tags. Let's see. Okay, different error. Rejects if name is blank. Okay, post validations rejects tags attributes if name is blank. So let's throw that on there too. Reject if, let's see, name blank. Let's see what that gives us. Nope. Undefined method. Okay. Say reject if blank. Did you mean blank? Or the question mark? Expected count not to have changed, but did change from 0 to 1. Rejective, all blank. Attributes kind dot. Check if. I think this will work. All blank. There's only one field, so I think this will just save us some typing. Oh, that apparently passes all the models. Name is blank, content is blank. Oh, well, this is the name, content, tag. Oh, this has uniqueness in it. That's what this is. Okay. So that's working. I didn't realize that would pass all those. All right, let's go back to our full test suite. Okay, so we still need to pass stuff through. I don't think this is going to work in the end. I still think we have to touch the model, but let's get our things into our form now, get our proper objects, and allow these to be built, to be created. So first thing we need to do is update our post params. And now that we have a nested attribute, the convention is the name of that attribute. It's going to be tags attributes. And then all that we have on this one is a name. And that should be allowing it through. Let's see. All right, let's look at our post route here. Great. Raise. Let's see if I'm remembering that correctly. Raise inspect param. Let's see. New post, some content. Let's see what happens. Oh.
It's params.inspect.
Ah, that's what it is. I was like, I always get this one wrong. There we go. Oh, we don't have any tags yet. Let's see. Sweet. There's seed data. Rail. Oh. Rails TVs. Does that work? No. Rake TV C. In Rails 5, they changed the commands to saying Rails instead of rake. All right. Let's go back. There we go. Now we can see this field. Tag IDs. That's what's going on there. And this apparently doesn't have rep. Rep. There's all the checkboxes. All right. So that's what our params are looking like. So we're just allowing those through the tag attributes, or tags attributes, which is going to end up being that new, the new one that we create. And all right. And something that we do have to make sure that we do, and this part is, I think, where people get tripped up the most, is we have to pass a tags object into this form as well. So into this new route, after we create a post object that we're going to pass in, we can create a tags object with the build command. So this is going to create an object, a tags object that's already associated with this post. Obviously this post hasn't been saved yet, so it doesn't have an ID or anything, but Rails is going to know how to interpret that. When things do get created, it's going to associate and do some of its Rails magic for us and connect all the dots for us. So that will create one of those new forms. Fields for tags. Yeah. If we put more there, we could have more of them. Or it should have more of them at least. All right. So there's one. And if we put another one here, let's see if there's a second one. So however many we need, we have to pass objects in there, and Rails knows through convention what to do with that, since we have a form that uses this fields for tags. So it's looking for this tags object, and now we've passed it one. And so it knows what to do here. So we've built our object, built our form, we've allowed the attributes. And I can do this again. Now that we'll be passing some new data. Say some more content. And let's see, what are these looking? These are so random. There's no rhyme or reason to them. Inexpensive and frantic. So let's see. Let's say expensive. We have inexpensive. All right. Tag IDs. And here's these tags attributes. So if we had more than one, we would see, here's our hash. We would see another key value in there pair. So we would see a 1, and then another name, and then another value. That's coming off those build objects that we made for tags. All right. So that is there. Let's actually let this go through. Oh, right. What's going on here? All right. Another post, more content. Let's say dizzy and I was going to say sleepy, but it's there already. Dopey. I was thinking of. Okay. Post was successfully created. Another post, more content, dizzy, dopey. Cool. So it works. Let's see if our tests are passing. Yes. I feel like, let's see. There's another case that needs to be handled. Let's see. Scary. No, that works. Okay. I guess kittens. Huh, kittens. I was thinking we would have to do more stuff, but I guess not. The README definitely gives more info than is needed. I was looking at this and thinking we might need that somewhere. And let's see. I bet we can use this instead of this all. Oh, I still need the first half of it. All right. Attribute name. Let's see what happens with this. There we go. That's more of using the scalpel, I guess could be said, than the axe. And then that way, if there's specific fields that wanted to be blank or wanted to run validations against, because name and content are there. Yeah. So that would be more direct, more, I guess, better code, I would say. You definitely know more what's going on. You're not just doing a blanket statement. All blank definitely works, we saw. And thanks, Eric, for putting that in the chat before. I'm just seeing it. Like I said, I'd go tunnel vision into the code, my screen that has code on it, and forget to look over. But yeah, they'd both work. And I think it's nice to know all the different ways of doing things because different scenarios are going to call for different things. Yeah. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anything else going on?
No, I'm pretty good. I just kind of wanted to review. I finished this actually this afternoon. And I really struggled with the lab right before this. It was but this one wasn't so bad. But I just wanted to kind of, I mean, these the nested forms have been kind of giving me trouble. So I just wanted to kind of sit in and kind of watch it again, just to drill it into my head, basically.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with the nested forms is, it's reading the documentation. Rails is very specific in how it does things, and that allows us, not having to wire it all up together. But a lot of it has to come down to, providing the proper objects and syntax, like the plurals of things, and the underscores, and tags, attributes, like these types of things.
Yep.
Is what a lot of it comes down to. And a lot of that is just, going back to the documentation and looking back at, the examples there. And yeah, it's just one of those things that you kind of have to, I don't know. It's not one of those like things that is an algorithm, like you're trying to figure it out. It's like it has to be done a certain way, and making sure that you conform to that is, I think, the biggest part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Well, you made it look easy.
Oh, well, I've done it a couple times before, and yeah, and I have the answers too.
It always helps.
Yeah, just in case. I try and work through it, from memory, but I like, reference is good too.
Cool. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Yeah. Any questions from anybody else about anything?
No, that was great.
All right. Well,